in.
We are live.
Hello, it's us.
Woo!
Have we got sound? Can we be heard?
Everybody, sound.
I've learned my lesson. We'll
Sound
check
level's
before
good.
we start things.
If
It's
we
true.
can have sound at the start, I feel like we've broken a tradition.
Yeah.
Sound excellent.
All right.
What?
People
Well,
can-
Hell yeah.
we'll wait for whatever the real technical difficulty is. And in the meantime,
Let's see.
hello, internet friends, webcomic fans. Welcome, welcome. It is I, your friendly neighborhood dungeon biologist. Welcome to another episode of Trash Heroes, the Dungeons & Dragons stream wherein we recount the epic adventures of this wildly improbable collection of horrible creatures we know as the Trash Heroes. Our players are this assemblage of amazingly talented webcomic artists. Please check out all of their various social medias and websites. Because we have a guest this week, we don't have the box up, but rest assured that with the end, we'll shout out everybody's sites, and the VOD on YouTube, we'll have the links in the thing below for everybody's comics and other projects.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I could flash our stuff up there right now if I...
Sure, you can
do
throw
a
a
couple
flash box up
things.
there.
Let me,
Well, why
let
don't
me test
you
out our
use-
fan art thing, and maybe I will break
Figure
the stream.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's break the stream.
Did I didn't.
Break
I
the
don't think I
stream,
broke
break
the
the
stream.
stream. I'm just looking to see if the stream is broken. No, it worked. Wow. Hooray!
Hey.
And of course, yes, I
Getting
know
better at this OBS
that
thing.
Jeff points out in the chat that the podcast versions are slowly trickling out as we get the sound files converted. I think there's several episodes now up on
Yep.
Spotify.
Yeah, I can put links to that.
Indeed.
But I
And in the
let's see if I
meantime,
remember what I'm doing.
yeah, I shall introduce the characters. First up, our keeper of the vermin, protector of the trash heap, Fetid Quaggle.
Me, hi.
Next, we have our larger-than-life pit-fighting superstar, Ugna Sugartusks. Hooah, hooah. And there is, of course, our trickster cleric, rogue baker, and all-around party animal, Tromlin Darioles. Next, there is the all-natural Genasi swamp druid, Glorpa.
Everything's dead.
Nice.
Excellent. Good plant-on-plant action.
Excellent.
And finally, of course, our sweet old grandpa, who also happens to be accidentally an ancient warlock, Copernicus Sunshine.
Hello.
And welcome for the second game in the row, our special guest. You know him from such wonderful projects as the Comic Dork Tower and many, many, many game products, including all kinds of way too many Munchkin cards. John Kovalik,
Hello.
playing the white elephant, the merchant Sir Godfrey, the
Yes, the
Loxodon
white-
merchant.
The white elephant in the room who will just not leave and had to come back.
Indeed. Well, we hadn't had the
This is
discussion
not-
about him yet.
This is not, I mean, it's a flower, yes, but it's also a tchotchke.
Oh, good.
Excellent.
It looked like a vibrator there for a second. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
We don't
This
keep
is
vibrators by our
D&D.
desk, right?
From Glorpa's perspective, it probably was.
This is D&D. It's a wand of vibration.
Ooh.
Okay,
Who's
so
Wanda?
shall I recap for our audience? I notice our audience is bigger than usual, which probably
Hi,
has something to do with Jeff posting on his blog.
Maybe.
So, to recap, where we last left our heroes, and we use that term quite wrongly, the group had been in their hometown of Mud Hollow and had recently slain a young black dragon and spent the night prepping the parts when the town guard suddenly showed up at their place looking to arrest y'all so you could await the return of the Baron and explain yourselves with all this ruckus that occurred in the city dump when you fought the bullywugs and the dragon. But Tromlin managed to talk your way out of the arrest with the promise that the group would turn yourselves in later in the day, giving you time to go over to the augury and visit with Dangalf the Wizard and check in on his divinations regarding the Raven cult leader Eliphas Darkmoor. You learned a few things about Eliphas and his warlock powers and his manipulation of the local barbarian tribes, And you also had Dangolf get his apprentice, Mickey Cotter, to give the party some information about owlbears, since you have this latest quest to acquire owlbear milk for the local mafia.
So is
And
that
this
a
is
weird
where,
thing?
yeah, is this weird? No, this is totally
No,
normal. This is
completely
how
normal.
D&D works.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure this is the second chapter of the Player's Handbook. And this is also where you met Sir Godfrey, who was in the process of making a bargain with Dangolf the Wizard, and he agreed in exchange for some of your dragon parts to give you passage with his magical animated caravan around to the city of Ravenfall next to the Wildwoods, where there happens to be an excellent place to find breeding owlbears. So Dangolf vouched for the party so that you would be able to leave, and promised that he would deliver you all to be questioned by the Baron when the Baron comes back to town, since that's probably going to be weeks away. And he also agreed to go over to Tromlin's place and help preserve your dragon carcass for you, while you left with the magical caravan to journey west along the Great Ring Road, passing beyond Stormhill without incident, the town where your last adventures were taking place, until you reached a high stone bridge and found that it had been recently destroyed, and quite possibly by the stone giant that you found slain. You found the bones of a stone giant and the trail of a group of bridge trolls. And so Glorpa cast a spell to raise a small forest, and Ugna began cutting lumber, while Sir Godfrey got his stone-shaped spells ready to try and rebuild the bridge, while Copernicus and Fetid followed the trail and encountered the trolls down in the ravine. Fetid tried to chat with them and see, since they looked quite upset about the loss of their bridge, and that resulted in a chase.
You
And
tried
that's
to
where we
Tromlin.
left. Yeah.
Tried.
Fetid's -1 is an order of magnitude lower than Tromlin's bonuses.
Yeah. It didn't go very well.
And I'm on the other side of the bridge, the chasm.
You're on the other side of the chasm. But Fetid and Copernicus, with a handy use of an invisibility and a fly spell, are on their way straight back up to the ravine, while the trolls have to climb after or make their way around. So you've got a bit of time. And I believe Copernicus had also used his magic tome to alert you all, except Sir Godfrey, who you don't have. His name is not yet signed in your book. But everybody else has been alerted in your minds that there is a horde of trolls incoming.
If you've ever seen me at a convention, you will know I will sign anything. So I'm
You
ready.
just
to
gotta
sign.
put a fake Munchkin card over top of the book. Okay, so that's where we're going to pick it up.
All right, you guys, trolls incoming. Ugna puts her axe into one of the trees and grabs her hammer off her back and just looks around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I command my familiar to hop onto Ugna's back.
Excellent.
And
Okay, you
I
now
will
have a magic monkey on your back.
Yep.
And I will also stand on the furthest part of what's left of the bridge, so I can kind of see without falling off.
Yeah, there's a big stone stump at each end. Now that you're kind of close up on the bridge, I'd like you to make me a perception check to see if you notice something interesting about the bridge itself.
I fully expected. Oh, I got a plus 10.
Yeah, you're good at
That's
this.
plus 7. Plus 7. Let's see. I might
Pretty
notice
good.
something. I hope I notice something. That's a 23. If I don't, it sucks.
23 total is pretty good. Yeah, you're looking down over the edge of this stump of rock, of the stones that have been broken away, looking down below to see if you can spot trolls. But the first thing you notice in the immediate vicinity, on the edges of the rock, you actually notice that these rocks don't just look shattered. They actually look like they've been bitten. So there are actual, like, gigantic tooth marks on these
That's
rocks.
not good.
Probably bad.
Like the stone giant took a chomp out of it.
I'm thinking something else, like maybe a boulet or something.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The size
way.
would match. The size would match with a stone giant, but there was only one stone giant skeleton.
Also, do they eat bridges?
Their main source of nutrients.
Like, you don't hear about cloud giants just vaping the sky.
I mean, wouldn't you though?
Maybe we do in this world.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You could make an Arcana check to see what you know about stone giants.
Do cloud giants vape?
I will say, while you're doing that, this is a good time as any for us to start our first poll. So I'm going to ask the players to look away from the chat. And our audience, for those who are new, we're about to have a poll. Everybody can vote once. If you have any channel bits or channel points, you can use those to vote multiple times if there's a particular result that you would like to see. The poll will run for about 10 minutes. And hopefully that poll will start shortly. I have instructed my shadow DM.
And you will do terrible, terrible things to us, I'm sure.
Post the poll.
Probably.
Who knows?
It rarely leads to good things happening.
My Arcana check was a 1.
Oh no!
Oh, nice.
A natural 1. Which
you know
makes
that
it at 2.
stone giants exist.
Yay!
You always thought that stone giants just meant giants that are on drugs.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Oh, he had the munchies. I get it now.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh no, Peter,
Which
you're muted.
Is Peter
Isn't
muted?
that a munchkin card?
Pretty much everything is a munchkin card at this point.
Everything in John's life is munchkin cards.
It's the Simpsons did it of like fantasy.
Kovalik did it. Kovalik did it.
I was gonna say, yeah, when a cloud giant finishes its vape, it becomes a stone giant. That's
yes, correct. Yeah,
exactly.
Good. That's the life cycle.
It's the circle of life.
By the way, cloud giants vape the sky is now running in my head to the tune of Ghost Riders in the Sky. So whoever said that, I hate you so much right now.
Sounds like
a
cloud giants vape
Anytime.
the sky. There's got to be some kind of nerdcore D&D band out there that can do that now. Come on.
Peter's next
Just
single.
the one, you think?
I mean, like, give me 15 minutes and I can probably crack something.
Okay, so first thing you notice, Tromlin, is the bite marks on the bridge. The second thing you notice is you can kind of spot bits of the wreckage down below through the trees. There's a fair amount of tree cover at the bottom of the ravine, but you can see a few larger chunks of stone that fell down below. And the third thing you notice is the dark forms of trolls swarming up the rock walls of the ravine. They're just climbing. They're just climbing up. They're not bothering to go around the long trail.
On his side or our side?
My side or
on both sides. On both sides.
I did a really good job.
Yeah, they're not thinking a lot. They're trolls. They're just kind of going up, and so they don't bother to stay together. And so some of them on either side.
Can I take a cheap shot at one of them?
You sure can.
I don't have sadly any fire spells.
No, you can kind of hear in the distance. You can hear their muttering. It strikes you as being a dialect of Sylvan,
which I speak.
Yeah, that's why you can tell. But they're basically like just sort of like food. But some of they're kind of arguing amongst themselves. Some of them are kind of going food, and others are going not food. Like they seem to be confused.
Is there one on my side that's saying food?
I mean, they're arguing, so they're going back and forth. Like, so the same ones are kind of going food, and then another one says not food, and then the second one will be like not food, and then the first one goes food, not food. Yeah, it's a very
nuanced.
It's a nuanced philosophical argument that's happening.
One of the ones who seems very, very dead set on food. I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt on him at a 2nd level.
Sounds good.
So fuck him.
Exactly.
I just realized that you probably smell like a goat and are like especially tasty to trolls.
That's part of my issue right now. What is my attack modifier? Is it +7? Or am I
your spell attack modifier is indeed +7.
Do I get any bonuses for being above him, higher ground, or anything like that? Or is that a third edition thing?
I would if it wasn't for the awkwardness of the angle. It's
That's
kind
fine.
of cancels out.
No, that's completely fine. It's a 22.
That'll hit.
Ooh.
I mean, it's still a 22. I can't really
Yeah, I mean we're talking AC 15 here, so you're doing okay.
So that is 5d6.
Good lord.
5d6 radiant, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
I'm sad it's not fire, but I don't know what else to do. Ooh. There's some 6s.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not complaining.
5d6 total.
Yes, yeah. I cast at 2nd level. 15.
We're over halfway through the poll, audience members, so keep the votes coming in.
21 points of damage.
Ooh.
That was a good roll.
Nice.
Very nice.
And anyone who attacks him, that specific troll, has advantage.
Nice.
Yeah, so that particular troll has a little halo of holy light around it now, which it is going to immediately attempt to eat. So it kind of like it's grabbing like this at the light glowing around itself and trying to put it in its mouth, which isn't working. But that also means it's no longer holding onto the rock wall, so it falls down into the ravine.
I would like to yell in Sylvan, not food.
But with that, a bunch of the trolls kind of stop, and then there's like a congress begins to form here.
Oh,
so trolls on one side of the ravine are casting around with their long noses and sniffing in the air and kind of gesturing and pointing with their claws at something that you can't see, moving upwards through the ravine, and going, food. And for Fetid and Copernicus, it's you that they're gesturing at. They seem to be able to smell you.
Great.
As you fly, you're flying, right? So there's not like you're in a reach or anything, but they're gesturing at you and going, food. Every once in a while, one of them will do both of those and fall off the wall.
I question the wisdom of any animal that smells me and thinks food.
Yeah.
The other ones that are closer. Oh, remember, you frequently smell of sewage, which you absolutely know is a thing trolls will eat from your own experience.
Fair.
How far is the fall they make if they let go with both hands?
It depends how far up they've climbed. Like none of them have come right up to the top yet. Okay. So it could be a lot further. But for right now, it's mostly in the neighborhood of 50 to 100 feet.
Okay. Can I
how many trolls are there?
Oh, good question.
Maybe 20. A lot.
I'm sorry I asked.
Can I do a like either a prestidigitation or a thaumaturgy thing to just make like a floating piece of ham appear in like the air just out of reach, like a bunch of them?
Liamon's tiny ham,
for sure.
And if I can like produce a phantom smell with that, I would like to do as much as I can to make it a convincing illusion.
Probably not with that prestidigitation. You would need minor illusion for that.
Okay.
The phantom smell.
Would that help?
The phantom smell was the worst of the
I have
prequels.
minor illusion.
You do. But also, the ones that are closer on your side, Trom, that are closer to you, when you called out not food, are now arguing back against the others and going, not food. Like, see, I told you. And I actually would like you to, this eloquent speech you've made, I think you can make a persuasion roll against these trolls.
Use two whole words.
Not food.
Yeah, you use 2 words. It's a lot of words.
I just want to point out that Randy is literally arguing with trolls. Yeah.
I mean, it's better than feeding them, right?
That is most of my career.
Yeah. I mean, you live with Ugna.
Oh my goodness, this is getting to be a very tight race.
26.
Keep those votes coming in, everybody.
Nice.
As usual, if we have to do a tie break, if we're like exactly on our votes, we'll like. I was going to say flip a coin, but hey, I have all these dice here. Go figure. I could use those.
So it's a to persuade.
Oh, I see the Shadow DM has said maybe we'll allow a two-way tie if it evens up on this particular poll.
That doesn't sound good for us.
No, that
Nope.
seems...
No, it does not. I don't like that.
I am fine with that.
I'm sure
The usual for those who are new though, the usual mechanism if we get a tie is that we roll off. Okay, so what was your roll there on that persuasion?
26.
Okay, I'm gonna roll for the trolls to see if their insight is sufficient to overcome.
There's one troll who fucking went to Yale.
Yeah.
I rolled a 19, which means that it isn't good enough.
That's like a 16, right?
Yeah, they're not great at this. I believe yes, they have a -1, so that would be an 18.
It was closer than I would have liked.
The most perceptive it's ever been.
It was closer than like.
There is
One
that
of them has a
tasty
very
ham.
eloquent retort. You shout very authoritatively, "Not food," and one of them, goes, "Ah, but food." And the others kind of are like, "Ooh, he's hard to argue with."
And yes, I
And
drops
not
Mike.
food.
But then you have there's this illusory ham that's appeared. If you want to goose that with your minor illusion, you can give it
This
some
is a D&D phrase.
Do
Goose
trolls
the
like
ham.
fresh meat or rotted
illusory ham. Yeah, we got to goose the ham.
meat? Do they like fresh meat or rotted meat?
They kind of can't tell.
All right, I will make it smell like just the most overcooked, succulent hams. Throw that in.
Bees grasping ham. Ha! I can do this all night.
And you might.
Is that a threat? Okay, and our poll has ended. Where did we end up? Oh, I missed it. My Shadow DM will have to let me know.
Look at the chat again.
Excellent. No. Excellent. I got my my result. Thank you. That will come up in a short while. Okay, so you have got the attention of these trolls. They've stopped climbing up towards you. What are the rest of you going to do here? So, Sir Godfrey, you had begun gathering all the stone
Yes,
and preparing to create the stone bridge. And Ugna, you've now harvested a significant amount of lumber for the timbers of said bridge.
I was pretty much caught up in my stone cutting, forging, casting, divining efforts. It was going very well. Timothy and Tomothy were doing a grand job, and I noticed a kerfluffle over the edge, and so wandered over to see what was happening. And by Jove, it's a bally lot of trolls coming up the wall. And so Timothy and Tomothy are there. Sir Godfrey is there, and Sir Godfrey has got his 6 mercenaries with him from the other carts. So if you've ever seen the movie Zulu, for example, you will recognize that they will just like good British colonial colonizer, awful, terrible soldiers. They will march smartly up to the cavern wall, and they will just be there at the ready, stones in hand for the moment, because we had quite a few stones made, ready to start chucking upon my order. Sir.
Excellent.
Ugna's wandered up to the edge as well and is kind of looking over at Tromlin like, what are they yelling?
I yell to Ugna. What languages do we both speak?
Goblin.
You will speak Goblin.
I yell in Goblin. They were debating whether or not we're food, and I forcefully assured them we are not.
Oh yeah, we don't taste very good. Yell down at them in Goblin.
By the way, which sounds
go
very
ahead.
convincing in a Canadian accent, I've got to say.
Look, we don't
Canadian
taste very
goblins.
We don't taste so good.
Yep. Northern Goblin is often referred to as Canadian. It's a nickname in D&D for the North.
They're so nice, though.
Goblin Newfies.
Oh God.
Hey, you're
Look, there's
on
a
your
Timmy's
way
down
in
the
the
corner,
direction of the town of. You're moving in the direction of the town of Alder Cove. which I decided was entirely populated by Newfies.
Oh, good.
So,
Oh, good.
so we will get a taste of that. Yeah, so when Ugna leans out over to shout down to the trolls, a few of the trolls on the other side, the ones that have the best view of this, are going to start pointing at Ugna and at the Loxodon behind, at Sir Godfrey, and say, and they will say, they'll start shouting and pointing quite agitatedly. And Tromlin, you'll again, it's a weird dialect of Sylvan. It's very simplistic, but you catch the Sylvan term for giants, and they seem quite upset.
Mm.
I look to our new Loxodon friend and to Ugna say, and I say in common, they think you're both giants. You're seeing who's upsetting them. So you guys need to move out of sight.
I do like one of these and then I back up. I'm like, I'm not a giant. I'm just big.
Alina, if you would be so kind.
Inspirations for everybody.
Yeah, the hype train has begun, and our audience.
Time to get
in negotiation. They've been negotiating with my co-DM here and have
holy shit, that's
granted you
91
an
people?
inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems that that advertising in Jeff's blog is a useful thing to do.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I should probably do that more often.
Yes. Yeah.
And just so that the audience knows, just ongoing and in general, it is always plausible for members of the audience to cheer on our trash heroes, and when they receive sufficient value in bits, I give them more inspirations. Although there are obviously limits, the inspiration counter only goes up to 3, but we have in the past, if the hype train goes crazy and everybody really wants to do stuff, I will give other gifts upon the heroes.
And I see a few people in the chat kind of fretting because they wish they had money.
Oh, don't fret it.
Yeah.
No
None
worries.
of us want you to be in a...
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
This is just a fun thing.
Yeah.
This is
also, there's
just
ways to get bits for free. I think I found a thing about it last time. I'll post it in the chat again.
Yeah, but please don't ever feel bad that you
don't
can't
feel
throw money
bad.
into this. It's a fun thing. We don't want anyone to feel bad about this.
Exactly. This is just fun times.
Now let's go use the inspiration we were gifted to go murder some trolls who lived here before we came through, but that doesn't matter to us.
Yep.
We're heroes, Peter.
Heroes.
Yeah, I should. My shadow DM has reminded me that the acid mephit who has granted the party a wish at some point in the future was in fact a gift. It was specifically Tromlin. Was in fact a gift because of the hype train.
Nice. As is my crown.
Yes.
You guys made me queen of the frogs.
As was getting laid by a god.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
That's definitely not going to come back to bite us.
So Tromlin, you have as a linguist.
You are.
Yes, indeed. As a linguist, Tromlin, you're able to kind of start to glean a bit of what's going on with this primitive Sylvan language exchange amongst the trolls, and it begins to become clear to you that the trolls have only recently had this bridge destroyed by stone giants, and there was probably more than one of them.
Can I attempt to communicate to them that we are not here to destroy the bridge? In fact, we would like to rebuild it.
You very much can do so.
I think the plan is also to build a toll booth.
They don't need to know
and to
that.
privatize the infrastructure.
Troll booth.
Oh no.
Set it up as a troll booth. You can hire the trolls to run it.
the booth.
Yeah.
Which is
someone's got to be here for staff.
Oh, it is.
Oh, we just hyped again. We just went through the hype train again.
Hype train. Choo choo.
Thank you.
Sure. Why don't you roll me a persuasion roll to see how well you can communicate with these trolls? This isn't contested. I just want to see how, at what level you're able to manage to communicate.
Can I use an inspiration?
You sure can. You've been given several.
It was a 3, and I don't like that.
Yeah,
Maybe a
that's
13, but still. Oh shit! Yeah, that's better. That was worth it. 29.
Oh, sweet.
Whew.
If anyone in the audience didn't realize it, Tromlin's very good at this.
I basically pull out a chair, turn around, sit down like a youth minister. Oh, you need a new bridge.
Oh, stone giants ate your bridge.
What's up,
You know who else? You know who else needed a bridge? Jesus.
Unfortunately, I happen to know a great woodworker.
Sounds like you need a carpenter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you jump into their conversation as these trolls are arguing back and forth about food, and sort of glean that they are trying to, or that they're upset about the giants destroying their bridge, and sort of distract them from the food issue by saying, we're going to rebuild the bridge. We're going to fix this bridge. And you kind of like, there's a little bit of blank stares, and you're trying to find the right words because there's so few words that they seem to understand, even in Sylvan. And then it hits you. You've made this amazing roll, and you're like, regenerate. We're going to grow like the trolls do. We'll grow the bridge back. We can make that happen. And the trolls become odd. They basically sort of stop where they are. Some of them sort of go, and again fall off the wall. Others like continue to hang on, but like look at you with like wide eyes and jaws dropping. Like such a thing is beyond their imagining.
I will try to get them to kind of step back. Like, well, if you guys move back, we can start. And I will...
You can assist that by just moving your illusory smell of a ham down below them instead of above them, and they'll sort of like naturally move that way.
Yeah, my grandfather let's move the ham down and further out away so they'll leave.
My wife and I used to play Move the Ham, but it was a different circumstance.
Oh, Granddad! Oh,
yes,
Granddad.
we can move the ham.
The worst part, every time my grandfather, I don't say this in character, but Trum's thinking it. Every time he says that, I have never seen what she looked like. So I just think of him fucking a bucket.
Oh, that fuck bucket.
And
no.
That is probably what. Here's my grandfather and my grandmother with a fuck bucket.
The runes on the bucket glow a little bit. A little bit pink.
When the runes are glowing, don't come showing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad my daughter is not watching right now.
My child has learned some words from me. And I'm not proud of that. Anyway,
I'm safe for work, by the way. If nobody mentioned it,
yeah.
I think there's a warning that pops up on the stream. But if you came here from Jeff's comic, this is the least of your worries.
Yeah.
I look at our Loxodon friend and say, I think we should start as fast as we can reconstructing this bridge.
Okay, visually, when we were told to hide, Ugna dragged Sir Godfrey behind a bush, and so there's these two small bushes with both of our backs mounted above it. And when you turn to talk to us, we both pop up.
I'm just imagining you both I'm hiding.
Yep, we're just like this.
Nice.
You got
Nina, do you mind? There was an inspiration spent off of Tromlin. If you could fix that for me, and also reset the counter back down to 48.2.
Okay.
Merci. Excellent. Okay, so you were turning to do what? You know that this bridge rebuilding was going to involve Sir Godfrey.
Yes, I basically, at this point, once the trolls move away, I turn to Sir Godfrey and this is the perfect time for us to start rebuilding the bridge. They want the bridge back as fast as we can get it.
Okay. Well, here's the thing about fabricate. The actual, I'm going to I can build a bridge. It'll frankly start off as more of a stone path across the ravine. You know, it's how wide is the ravine, by the way?
It's significantly large, but you have 2 spell slots here. You were going to use one.
Let's call it 40 feet.
Sure.
let's say, for sake of argument, it's 40 feet, because I can then construct a 5 foot by 5 by 40 feet bridge like structure. And, you know, I can, you know, a long rest can do wonders. I can add another 5 feet by 40 feet to this. Just saying, magic, not always what it's cracked up to be.
Sure, but this could be very much, is very much, I think, the time when people may wish to consider the spending of their various abilities to beef this up, this effort. I would absolutely allow a hero point to expedite the creation of this bridge if somebody wants to drop one. And those of you who are near full on your inspirations, if we do take this hype train particularly far, I'd be willing to use it to replenish hero points. So
I mean, I am
if you're willing,
up for
if you're
hero
willing
points
to
on
sit
this.
in, if you're willing to sit in on my seminar on bridges and bridge construction and bridge ownership, it comes with a free buffet and a show later. And you know, it's well worth your while. Something to consider. It's an investment. Think of it as an
You said
investment.
buffet. Fetid is just all in. So, yeah, we'll spend my hero point too.
You will be
All right.
part owner of this
So
bridge
2 hero
for
points on this
5
bridge.
days of the year.
That's amazing.
And
Finally,
you know,
my
you can
own time share.
choose those days as you wish. You know, not holidays or
Hey.
weekends, obviously.
I'm going to
costs more.
put this. I'm going to put this hero point flavor onto this sucker. Then, so with some additional ritual support of this magic that you're about to cast using your stone shape spell, you create a much greater than typical stone shape. The advantage of having pieces of stone that you have gathered allows you to take the stone that you're shaping from the cliffs into this bridge and combine the other pieces. So you're basically only stone shaping like mortar.
I'm going to be combining stone shape with fabricate.
Yes,
together.
and so the use
Yeah.
of
It's like
fabricate allows you. So there's 2 other things that you can do. One is to use your fabricate spell to create all of the various support structures, all of the various like iron bindings and metal spikes and chains and pieces that hold together the bridge. In addition to the fact that with your ring,
gaudy billboards. Gaudy
oh,
billboards.
of course, we'll get to the gaudy
good.
billboards.
Oh, I have a pitch for you for what to put on them.
In addition, oh yes. In addition,
I am all ears. That's a Loxodon joke.
Oh no.
Haha.
Sir Godfrey also has a ring of unseen servants. And so as this whirlwind of stone shape is occurring, all of these timbers cut by Ugna are going to be grabbed by various invisible hands, and they are going to, along with your fabricate spell, with the creation of nails and whatever else needs to be there, build the supports that used to be present to hold up the old bridge or support the old bridge. So in a rapid whirlwind of stone and wood and metal pieces and magical invisible workers, this enormous bridge is recreated before your eyes.
And you notice that Timothy and Tomothy have taken off their explorer hats and have put on essentially their sorcerer's apprentice hats. And they are running around the place. These 2 delightful little... Yes.
Directing invisible servants.
So how many hero points do we need to give to him?
Yeah, I have us marked down as spending 2. Is 1 enough, or should we spend both?
I'm gonna add some extra stuff for the 2.
Okay.
I'm assuming the 2 because that's what I was told.
I mean, I can give one as well if you need, but I don't know.
This is the
We're
best
already
bridge in the
looking pretty
land.
good here.
All right.
I'm considering
So-
a series of billboards that begin like 60 miles away from this bridge.
Although, if
And-
you would like to drop one in here, Tromlin, I'm actually gonna. I know of another piece of flavor I would be happy to put on here. That would be very
trust you.
appropriate.
As long as one of the pieces of flavor is a sign warning people, trolls ahead.
Yep.
Have
Specifically, it'll be a billboard that says "Troll Booth" ahead.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Have your meat ready.
Yes. So in fact,
it's one of those
the flavor
booths,
I'm
I
going to
see.
add on here
Bone
is
in
that-
or bone
Glory
out?
hole /
No. Have
Here's
your
what-
meat ready.
Trolls ahead, meet and greet, although meat is spelled M-E-A-T.
Good.
Marketing.
There you go.
Important.
There you go.
This bridge has several important features when it's done. Number one, on either side, there's a small stone hut to act as a troll bridge. Secondly, there is
Souvenir stand.
I mean, I'm sure you're going to set up probably more things. Depends on what you're willing to leave behind in terms of staff. Knowing that you may have to make some arrangement with the tax keepers of Karsh to ensure that they don't come along and say no, you don't get to put a bridge on our highway without some cut coming our way. But in addition, another feature of this bridge,
Pay taxes.
Look, Tom Nook does what he wants.
an underground tunnel near the road leads to a passageway in the belly of the bridge that will be the Quaggle Highway.
Okay.
Fetid spending a hero point is going to ensure that Quaggles can dodge the toll.
Does that make it a Quaggle block?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is a second form of Quaggle Rock. And Tromlin's hero point. Well, Tromlin, of course, is going to have further conversations with these trolls and explain to them that instead of potentially accosting travelers, that you set up a system where everybody coming through will just automatically throw food to the trolls. This will just be part of the instruction system.
They'll keep the other monsters away.
In fact, we will sell them food to throw to the trolls.
I would actually also
Like
to ask
ducks.
them.
Yeah, that's what the booths
An
are for.
alligator farm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would also like to ask them about the giants that destroyed their bridge.
Sure. So you get some information of again. They have a very simple understanding, but you learn that there was a family of stone giants, a group of probably they're not great at counting, but you're estimating between like 3, 4, 5, somewhere in that range. Probably not more than that. Only one of whom was actually killed and eaten by the trolls, which was the skeleton you found buried on the far side of the bridge. The others, when the trolls started to significantly harass them and kill one of their number, ran away and ran northwards along the ravine up into the hills and are likely still at large.
I
No
will,
pun intended.
No.
I will tell the rest of our group that we should probably rebury those remains. I'll give them last rites. Just because if the stone giants come back, they're going to be pissed if they see their loved one dug up.
All these hero points spent, I will simply say that the spell is used to quickly add a proper grave in the stone of the cliff, since it would take a lot of work to dig such a thing, so that you can use it.
Can we rub fetid on the side of the bridge so that the stone giants won't be tempted to eat it? Like
That's a good
the
idea.
anti-licking thing they put on Switch cartridges.
Yeah, bitter apple spray.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, by putting these huts at either end of the bridge, which can house a small guard, Sir Godfrey, you would have the option of leaving behind some portion of your retinue to defend this bridge, and then when you get to Ravenfall, perhaps turn that gracious act into an argument to the local militia, that they can then go out and replace, send their own people to defend the bridge, but to remember that you have done this great service to the Kingdom of the North.
Well, obviously, this is a great service, which must be, billed at a, hourly rate, frankly. I see no problem in this.
It's likely.
Once
Gotta
the
get them
souvenir
bells.
stands, I'm sorry, I mean guard huts are put up, and the billboards, I'm thinking of calling this, wall dug, maybe. And billboards all like around. Yes, that sounds like a very fine proposition. And I believe we have done our duty here, and I'm just like, you see the little dollar signs in Sir Godfrey's eyes, or the equivalent, monetary.
We'll stick with dollar signs.
That's excellent. But yes, being a corporation, fully incorporated, Sir Godfrey is not used to paying taxes, but he will definitely be charging for this service. Hear, hear.
What since it's gold pieces, wouldn't it be AU in each eye, like an AU?
Hey.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Putting the AU in all.
Ooh woo.
No, we're
Excellent.
not sending capitals.
So
I'm
from
actually
here.
What?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to try to get to know like the trolls. Like, if I'm sure they have some naming system or something, and get to know them.
They're
a
all
little
Dave.
Yeah, there's a colony here.
It's
Like,
very confusing.
you'll determine that some of them are young, and so there's basically like a colony in this ravine. There's such a large bridge here that these bridge trolls have settled.
Okay, I have an idea. So to make sure they didn't bother anybody, this is young, I'll put on like a show for the kids.
Aw.
I'll get my clown stuff and I'll entertain them.
Sir Godfrey will find some fireworks in the caravan, and
I'm sure.
will help with this.
Okay. Do I do a perform check?
Yeah, go for it.
Good off. Roll 1. The children eat you.
Yeah.
Or 4.
I mean,
That's
kind of
always a
thing that
risk at
happens
any
when you-
children's party.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
It is a dirty 20. So
Excellent.
13 plus 7.
No, it goes very well.
All
It
right.
goes well. The one
You
thing that
children.
that probably you would cotton on to fairly early that will help your performance greatly is when you realize that throwing food to the audience periodically is a good way to keep their attention.
I will have my monkey run out with food and like basically toss it, like make a game, toss it into
Yep.
the baby, like kids' mouths.
You treat it like a t-shirt cannon thing, except that it's
Yeah.
just like raw meat,
Yes.
and they're all like, ah.
Meat cannon. I'm so
I
jealous.
just basically want them to you know what? Their lives aren't great. Give them a moment of happiness. And maybe they'll also say, okay, not everyone's food. Some people actually will help us. And maybe that will...
There's food, and then there's people who bring food.
Yeah.
That's a whole new type of
Mm.
person. It's amazing.
Oh yeah,
People
their
who
whole
bring food-
philosophy has changed here. They're like, oh, this is new.
Yeah.
I imagine
don't have
Fetid
to-
infiltrating the crowd so he can get
Oh,
in
yeah.
there.
It's hard though because I'm like 1/10 the size of all of them. It's like
You just
being
sort of sit on somebody's shoulder and
Yeah.
pretend to be a second head.
I can just imagine now some troll seeing Fetid and like putting him in their purse. Like,
Yeah,
you are now like
Later.
purse pet for
Yeah.
a troll.
I run that risk.
So yay,
Right.
we made trolls happy, which is a
Yay.
weird thing to say in D&D.
We built bridges both across chasms of the geographical nature and also of the cultural kind.
Aw.
Yeah.
We're
Aw.
wholesome.
Well, we're gonna come back and they'll all be slaughtered by somebody.
Yeah. Hey,
So-
not our fault.
Well,
One.
Well,
tried.
did what we could.
Well, if I may propose a name for this structure that cooperation has built, but has been funded by private funds, I would like to call it Tusks, Crannies, Urban Planning's Ever-Standing, Toll-Demanding, Meat-Remanding, Corporate Branding, Caravanning, Canyon-Spanning Troll Bridge.
Oh, canyon spanning.
Which is literally not a
Oh.
Munchkin card.
I did
Yet.
it!
Yet.
You
Yet.
Yeah.
You did yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
Everyone, if you see John at a convention, bring a blank Munchkin card to him and ask for that.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
Oh my god.
Good luck remembering it, though.
Quick out of just a quick thing. I went to a convention in Germany, Spiel, the Essen convention, and the German company that translates Munchkin was handing out as the promo that year blank Munchkin cards. So literally everybody in line had a blank Munchkin card to be drawn on, and two 1 hour signings turned into a 1 7-hour signing.
Oh my
It was just,
god.
oh my god.
How was
Wow.
your hand?
Yeah.
I was. Oh, it was. Anyway, okay.
I've had
Back to the game.
I've had 2 cards ever in their sets, and I still get those fucking things.
Mm.
At Gen Con, at a certain point, I'm like, these are all gonna be mean.
We start being the magic sphere.
I did one for someone at Gen Con was kind of rude to me, and he gave me a blank Munchkin card, and I think I wrote it as "You don't deserve happiness, lose 5 levels," and scanned it back.
Nice. Classic.
He did not take it personally. I'm sad to say.
Well.
Okay, so
Anyway.
having dealt in a magnificent fashion with your troll problem, you can now finally take the caravan across the bridge. For the new viewers, Sir Godfrey's caravan is in fact made up of animated constructs. These large, kind of peanut-shaped, almost like headless rhinoceri with animated legs.
More like
that have,
elephants, frankly. More like elephants.
but smaller, and with the shape in the back, so you can put like structures and tents and goods on them. As a matter of fact, these constructs, when you first had the conversation with the wizard who created them, he referred to them by an acronym. They were WALKs, walkers animated in the likeness of kine.
Oh, good.
But you've never thought of them. They're not really. You don't think of them as like kine, like beast of burden. You think it more like a mobile marketplace. So it's more like a WAL market of some sort. A small market, anyway.
Good.
So from here, it's not very long. Another day's travel before you reach the gates of Ravenfall. So let me pull up
Ooh, I got the map
some
going?
of my notes here. Actually, yeah, let's get the map up.
I need to
So
roll
everyone
a
can
D30
see.
to see who my next god is.
Yeah, it's a new day, so let's have another D30 roll and see who you're worshiping today.
Please don't fuck me. 18?
Ooh. I don't think we've had anything down in that region. Oh, I think we've had this one before. Vergadane, the laughing dwarf, dwarven god of luck and trickery.
We have
That
everything.
sounds
Yep.
relatively
Symbol
safe.
of a gold coin with a dwarf head.
So I sacrifice a gold coin. I flip it to the god.
So we started off down here in Mud Hollow, and we've come up around the road to
Yes.
Ravenfall.
Yes, indeed. So this bridge that you've just crossed, I'll use my little marker, is in this region here, between these hills.
Oh, to people in chat, yes, John is our guest player. He is his second session with us. We occasionally have guest players.
Indeed.
And yes, as someone was pointing out, my character Tromlin worships various gods. He has a mini roulette wheel he spends every day to see who he worships.
It's good.
Yes, this is the rogue trickster / trickster cleric domain.
And it has never once bitten me in the ass, ever.
No.
You definitely
No, no,
have
no,
not
Not at all.
There.
rolled lols, which was great.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was not upsetting at all.
Nope.
That was a good time.
Loki was a good one.
Loki was fun.
Hey, Loki wasn't out to like, I might murder you. Loki didn't summon me to answer for crimes.
True.
And then fuck me. But still.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Loki, you didn't get to have sex
he
with
would,
the Avatar.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say no.
Yeah. It was Tom
Wolf's
Hiddleston.
not the only one who eats ass.
No.
Oh no!
Well,
sir.
So, Ravenfall.
We could
So
never
you
have George
arrive.
Taylor on this podcast.
the city that eats ass.
Quality fall. Standards fall.
I don't think we started with those. So, after your encounter and reconstruction of this bridge, you travel on to Ravenfall. Ravenfall is built on. Do we still have the map up?
No, but I
We
can
do.
switch back.
No. Yeah, why don't you just put it back up, just so as I make this particular.
Ravenfall is built on rock and roll.
We built
True.
this
They
city.
built that city.
That's right. So Ravenfall stands on the cliffs overlooking the Shadow Sea, the northernmost coast of the Evermere. And it is a city constructed of high walls to defend against the ravagers from the icy wastes. It's very much a citadel that waves of attackers would crash and break against. The tall citadel in the center of town is known as the High Spire, and it is here that the Countess Nightshade dwells with her consort, Baron Gregory Langarian. The Langarians are recently risen to power, and no one's particularly thrilled about it. Baron Gregory is renowned for being quite cruel. But the Countess Nightshade has ruled here for a long time. She is rumored to be half Fae, and she's been here for at least long enough that Copernicus remembers visiting here sometime in the distant past, and it was the Lady Nightshade then as well.
All Trollin's hearing
what-
is there's someone new to hit on.
Yeah.
What's the other
Yep.
half? Half Fae, half.
Probably human, but who knows?
Question mark?
Half Fae and half some other kind of Fae.
Lane, what is the name of the pit in this
Mystery
town?
meat.
Because I've.
Sorry?
What's the name of the pit in this town? Because I've done fights here before, right?
Yes, I'm trying to remember. Let me just pull up your
It's called the pit.
The pit.
character. Was it in your character background
I
stuff?
thought
The
so.
Raven Hole.
Your campaign
Zoinka.
notes?
I thought it was called
No,
like the
so they-
aviary or something.
I believe it might have been the Erie. I thought it was
Eerie,
called.
yes. Cool.
Um,
Just so eyes know.
Yes, the fighting arena of Ravenfall is, rather than like a dug-in pit, it looks more like a Quidditch pitch, because it's all tall poles and ropes and other kinds of structures to jump around.
I wish to
And
see
you
if
will
corporate
recall-
sponsorship is available.
Well, I imagine it is.
Okay.
And in fact, I believe, Ugna, you recall fighting here a few times
Yeah.
against the local champion, Basilisk.
Oh, right. Yay, Basilisk.
Basilisk's quite tiny, but incredibly fast, and you have not ever defeated Basilisk.
Nope. She is too small.
Rematch.
Also,
Rematch.
she can hold her drink
Ah,
for somebody so tiny. Real fun after the matches.
Hmm.
Hmm. So you come up to the great gates of Ravenfall that are on the ring road itself. The road passes through the city. You cannot traverse the Great Ring Road without passing through the city of Ravenfall. Beyond, it splits into two, and the Great Ring Road continues southward on the other side of the Evermere, or northward towards the Wildwoods and the far reaches of Northold, and that's where you're headed for your owlbear milking excursion.
There's
But in the
Northold.
meantime, Ravenfall, one of your favorite places, Sir Godfrey, because this is a kind of place. This is basically your second favorite place to deal, but it's not far from anywhere. It's a nice place to go because it's kind of on the way to everywhere. But it's second only to the city of Dwimmerdell in terms of the crazy crap that you can acquire and sell. There's a good market here for esoteric parts and ingredients. And as a dealer in the arcane oddities, you often find that anytime you pass through here, you have to set up. And of course, the Great Road passes right through the city and through the marketplace. So as soon as you make your way past the guards at the gates, give them their toll that you have to pay to do business here, you of course have your servants able to set up quite the elaborate market from your WAL mart, if you will.
Sir Godfrey's oddly waddly trolley of muttly godly gaudy tchotchkes featuring Timothy and Tomothy, Godfrey's awfully toffee bowler hat bric-a-brac knick-knack lackeys is open for business.
Believe.
I would like to know.
Incredible.
I would like to know if you want the signs to have been changed by now. You certainly have the invisible servants to have done so.
Timothy and Tomothy are working on the rhinestone jean jacket for Ugla. But yes, the rest are working on the signage for the caravans.
Excellent. So
thank you,
previous
grandfather.
And for those who weren't with us last time, that was that morass came out of the mind of Peter Tchaikovsky,
who never even got an inspiration point for that. I might add.
Oh, that's an interesting. That's an interesting point. I think Copernicus should get an inspiration for that.
Yeah, that's fair.
At least.
I would like to have another little red dot placed there, if Alina, if you don't mind.
I can do that.
Is it legal for me to make and sell food, or do I have to go through a big paperwork nightmare?
Well, there's a couple of different things here. So there's a hawker's row here, so you have the option of doing something along those lines. You can certainly go and just throw your bit in with others, but as you are very well aware, you're a very worldly type. You know that there are locals and regulars in the hawker's row who might look unkindly to an outsider. However, you have two options to you. One is you have connections. You can pull the strings of your friends in low places trait, and basically get, hey, anybody not doing their hawking today that I could come in nominally in the place of, and basically use your connections that way. The second option you have is you could clearly, Sir Godfrey has whatever license there is to set up a full-sized market here. You could simply ask Sir Godfrey if he would allow you to sell food through a part of his elaborate setup.
Sir Godfrey,
absolutely. Sir Godfrey is enamored of his new friends and the adventure they've brought into his otherwise, fabulously wealthy but somewhat dull life, and this is just marvelous. Yes, please, by all means, sell your rats on a stick here. I hear they are delicious.
As I pull out a bag that has some of the dragon meat on it, okay, sure.
What an interesting smell! I don't believe I'm familiar with that one.
It's
That's
black dragon meat.
I would have thought Jacob Alec would be able to recognize dragon meat, having been the, I think, patron artist of a convention of that name.
Yes. I recognize dragon meat, just not all of the nasty bits.
Oh, those are where the flavor is.
Eat those, but yeah.
I'll tell you what, where my brain was, is I was like, what convention is called dragon meat? It took me a minute.
After hours convention.
Oh, no.
There probably is a dragon meat after hours at Dragon Con.
Yup.
No, dragon meat is actually a wonderful one-day convention in London in December.
Oh, really?
There actually is a dragon.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought it was a Dragon Con joke. I thought it was a Dragon Con joke.
Yeah.
Yes, I was very impressed by the reference there. But it is a fantastic one-day show, and yes, London usually the first weekend in December.
All shows should be one-day shows. Anything longer
Oh my god!
So I want to make 2 different like menus. I want to have like the higher end menu and like a lower tier.
the fetid
When you say
special.
higher tier and lower tier, do
Trash
you
on the
mean
plate.
do you mean a Quaggle type menu, or do you mean like just like affordable and like gourmet?
Affordable. I mean, I'll probably
or KFC dumpster.
So what I will probably do is I had like here's like the higher end. Here's the dragon meat. Like this is gonna go to richer people. Then like the affordable menu, I will likely be holding side scraps, etc. And because it's not hard.
Usual sort of like easy stew on the burner to give away when necessary.
Well, yeah, like if I see some homeless, like again, I was a homeless kid. If I see a homeless kid, I'm not going to let them go without eating. They're going to eat today.
For the audience who may or may not be familiar, we keep using the term quaggle, which in this setting refers to the all of the various little folk like goblins and down on their luck halflings and other critters that live in the sewers of other major settlements in a setting like this one.
Like me.
Yep.
Fetid is their
Trackable.
folk hero.
Well, I don't know about hero.
They do. Well, and in fact, so once you again, there is another whirlwind of activity in magic here as Sir Godfrey and his busy servants, little Timothy and Tomothy, with their proper little bowler hats and little fake mustaches and all properly prim and ready for business, start setting out the unseen servants and turning this caravan of packed up goods into an elaborate series of tent and stall and countertops with a wide variety of strange and wondrous herbs, oddities. I believe you currently have the payment that these fine friends granted you, which I believe was the some of the teeth and the eyes of the dragon, and
some of the choice cuts. The choice cuts.
Yeah, and
there were
some pieces of some of the pieces of hide. And that you have
raided with a party of 134.
Wow.
Oh.
Welcome, Raiders.
A raid.
Hurrah!
Thank you.
Well, welcome.
What is it? I don't even know what that means.
People from another stream came over
here.
here.
Is raiding with a party
Really
of
Kirby.
134.
Yeah, usually when someone wraps up a stream, they'll send their current viewership.
Yeah, I think. Welcome, Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, Raiders. Enjoy our strange shenanigans. So you also, I do believe, John, as a merchant class, have who of the specialization of the arcanist, have the option of having up to your level number of particularly interesting magical oddities of your choice.
Exactly, all
for sale.
reasonably priced. Reasonably priced to move. Yes, very fair, incredibly fair.
Yes.
Yes. There's the wand, for example, that will divine the exact worth of any particular item in the eyes of the beholder. Extraordinarily useful.
Particularly if you're
Very
a beholder.
Inexpensive. Yes, particularly. Yeah, so this is a sort of like its own little miniature Camden market. It's
keep going with the niche London references. Let's just keep this.
So yes, everything we're open for business.
At this point, I'm going to turn to Glorpa. Like, what do you eat? I don't think I've ever made food for you.
Whatever I find that doesn't that seems to move or squiggle in the mud.
Okay, so pretty much the same as me.
Everything you've made smells good. I just wasn't sure if it was food or not.
It is food. Okay, I will make sure when I have food that you can start trying some.
He makes real good food.
So basically, the high-end menu is going to be seared black dragon fillets in a pig blood sauce with red wine, cooked with onions and potatoes.
Yeah, I eat that.
Food.
I actually went through some medieval where I was like, blood sauce was a thing. Okay. I will probably do, since I assume this is it's a coastal town, correct?
Yeah, it's sort of. It's on the high cliffs above an area where you can't really access easily. So there's a small key here and a small bit of shipping.
Okay.
But that's all way down below at the bottom of the cliffs, so it's not easy. But there's definitely like seafood and stuff that you can get here. Am I frozen?
Nope. Looks like the stream's still fine.
No, it looks good to me.
It's just my browser that's giving me trouble.
Yeah.
I just need to fix my browser.
All I heard was seafood and frozen, and so.
I will see if there's a merchant who's selling pigeon, because I know pigeon was a common.
Oh, squab is so tasty.
Yeah, so
it's real good.
I want to make like a glazed squab as my with a little bit of stew as my mid range, and then I will make like basically a potluck stew which has a little bit of everything. So like some of the dragon bits that are too small, put those in there, whatever, and that's where that's the popper stew.
Excellent. Well, this is going to quickly start attracting the attention of local sellers. Why don't you make me a check here to see how good this comes out? So this is effectively a wisdom, the usual cooking tools roll. So wisdom plus proficiency bonus, so +7 total.
Then that would be a 21.
Ooh.
I got a 14.
Yeah, excellent.
I only use my rainbow dice for food now.
Nice.
Perfect. So yeah, then Sir Godfrey, you're sort of been being somewhat, just being nice to your friends here and allowing this satyr to set up a little table at one end of your little mini market.
This is
to sell, and it's amazing. Yeah. This is
so out of Sir Godfrey's normal realm of experience. He's just living the moment. These are, exciting, wonderful, moderately disgusting beings. But he's having just this time of his life with this all. So, Timothy and Tomothy are making sure everybody is happy, running around. Yes. And currently, I'm trying to sell a bag of holding a grudge. This is a very specialized magic item, but I think I can get some good coin for this.
This is let it go.
If you ever find a bag of devouring, sir, I will happily buy it from you.
Ooh.
So I have a sneaking suspicion here that you're attracting some attention. Oh, maybe.
Well, I also make sure all the party members get food as well, including Timothy and Tomothy.
Thank you.
I mean, I got to do my brand sponsorship deal here, so I'm standing at the street corner and hawking, getting some flexing, and like, good deals this way. Come on in, everybody.
Oh,
I think we should have
today only
sign for them.
Flip a giant sign.
I'm from time to time. Yes. From time to time, I go over to our pit fighting friend and remind her of the spiel. Sir Godfrey's oddly, waddly trolley of motley, godly, gaudy tchotchkes, featuring Timothy and Tomothy, Godfrey's awfully, toffly, bowler hat, bric-a-brac, knick-knack lackeys.
Okay. We got
this here.
All right. Hey, everybody! Today we got this. We're here at Sir Godfrey's Hot Bod Odd Shop for good grubs and magic, featuring Timothy and Tomothy, who are also here.
Nailed it.
Come and get it.
Nailed it.
We got deals for days. Like and subscribe, everybody. Come on down.
Here's an idea.
Look, if Bone Crusher shops here, you should crush here, or I'll crush your bones, just like Sir Godfrey crushes your deals.
All right, roll an intimidate check.
Possibly we simply call this Hot Topic. Just a thought. No bad ideas. Brainstorming here.
There's no bad ideas.
Yeah.
This animated Walker Mart is a pretty hot.
I think
hot
Trash
topic.
Heroes is only bad ideas.
Yeah.
Yes, that is
Kind of our
started.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our
I did
tagline.
I did suggest the name Trash Heroes as a fucking joke, and we kept it.
We kept it.
The best
Good.
names.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I do think I should call on some rolls here. So I think a performance check.
I am startlingly good at that.
Yeah.
I say jinxing myself.
Yeah.
Oh, not bad. Not bad. 13. Not terrible.
Not terrible. You're definitely attracting some attention, and I think that I would like everyone to make a perception roll.
Mm-hmm.
At least I'm decent at that.
That's never not a bad thing.
Nope, what can go wrong?
I will make one as well, I guess. Nope.
Almost precisely average.
Ugna sees nothing. That's a 5.
16.
18.
16.
18.
18 is pretty good. 16's from Godfrey and Glorpa,
26.
and a 26 from Tromlin. All right. So
Hey, look, there's no cloud giant or stone giants involved. I'm finally back to normal.
Yeah, apparently.
It is the Cromwell show tonight. Damn.
So I'm gonna do this in ascending order. So first of all, Ugna, you notice customers.
Yes, correct. I'm
That's
hamming
all
it up
you
for
get.
them. I flex. I'm pointing at the deals. That way.
You think you're pointing at the deals? You're just pointing at random stuff in the market.
Correct.
You're like someone. You're like, you should buy this to someone who's like actually selling. And
I'm doing my best.
so Glorpa and Sir Godfrey, I'll give you, and everybody else will notice some of these things too. I'll give you some of the general flavor here. So you notice there is some attention from the town guard, not something that would be particularly out of the ordinary. Like this is a big event of this crazy magic caravan showing up and then suddenly selling amazing food and having a regional celebrity marketing for it. But the guards here have a black, like an entirely sable tabard and black armor with raven's wings on their helmets, and they're paying some attention to the goings on here, but maybe not anything that's particularly untoward.
To the hot deals.
Otherwise, you definitely noticed significant amounts of interest being taken in the market, and business seems to be booming, much to Sir Godfrey's pleasure.
The guards are simply wearing black on the outside because Morrissey feels black on the inside. We can cheer them up.
And this is not unusual. You've been here before, and this is normal. But looking respectively at the ground and at the sky, Fetid and Copernicus will notice a few more things. Fetid, you notice the local quaggles. So as the market starts to gather a lot of attention over this way, of course, that is prime time for local quaggles to potentially make off with things that aren't being too heavily watched, or just scavenge in the corners here and there.
Stray socks, stray cats.
Yeah, and you quickly determine, so this is not unusual, but you quickly determine that there seem to be two different groups of quaggles here. They seem to not mix. There are a number of dark ratkin quaggles here. They all look very similar, sleek-furred, long in body, so longer than most of the ratkin that you are used to. And they all seem to be wearing similar themes in their garb. Of course, as quaggles, they're wearing very simple clothing, scavenged leathers and rags, but they all tend to wear the same kind of red patch in the same region of the left breast.
What do you think? Some stars on their bellies?
No, there are no sneeches here, but there are rumors that there are. Yeah, get Sneeches? What? I've heard that there are Sneech colonies in Dwimmerdale. But here, the second group are more varied, but predominantly goblins. Goblins, some gnomes and halflings in the mix. And they seem to be particularly keen on wearing a lot of black. They have a lot of affectations of coiffure. Not common in goblins to have a lot of hair, so some of them are probably wearing like patches of like stolen horsehair, but it's all black, and they like to wear it like long over one eye, primarily.
Oh my God, goblins.
Indeed. Yeah, and these little emo quaggles are sort of like in their own little cliques away from the weaselly ratkin.
Time for some teen drama.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Meanwhile, looking to the skies, Copernicus, you are kind of keeping half an eye on the high tower, on the high spire. Having been there before, of course, a long time ago at a particular fancy ball that I think is written up in your background sheet. But the thing that catches your eye, however, other than the usual flocks of raven folk, there are significantly higher numbers of raven folk here than there are further south. But among them, you actually spot a fair number of regular ravens. Not too surprising. Again, the cliffs of Ravenfall are named for the fact that that a lot of ravens of the north live in this area. But you spot one with your pretty decent roll who you thought had red eyes.
God damn it.
We captured that one.
I'm gonna put
but
a
you
little,
quickly lose sight of it.
Okay, I'm gonna put a little alert on PernyNet that.
Yep.
Let me finish my the one for Tromlin, and then discuss as you choose. So then, Tromlin, you have a great vantage point here selling, because while Ugna is attracting all the attention, you can basically watch and read the crowd pretty well. And so you notice something that no one else is really catching, which is that there are a lot of side glances being given at Ugna. Not just people being like, "Oh, this big, pink-haired orc lady is entreating us to buy things," and flexing and so forth. But a lot of people are looking at Ugna and then like whispering conspiratorially to their friends. There seems to be a lot of interest, completely separate from this sales situation.
Is there a way I can kind of glean any information during my sales to any customers who might be talking about this?
Sure, you're glib of tongue. You have the ability to charm those you speak with for a little while, so you could certainly do some merchant banter. Why don't you make me a...
is there a booth barnacle that he can chat with?
Yeah, make me a simple persuasion.
No, don't talk to them. They'll never leave.
A persuasion, you said?
Yeah.
I'm using my last inspiration.
Cool.
Go for it.
That was bad. Okay, that's better.
There you
go. It is a 14 plus 10, 24.
Alina, can you mark that for me?
Already done.
And that is more than sufficient to kind of gather a little information out of these folks. So what specifically are you looking for? You'll quickly get just easily that people seem to recognize Ugna, which is not new to you. Like, Ugna's famous.
7 foot tall with pink hair.
Yeah.
But they'll also be conspiratorial.
Yeah.
Like, try to basically coax out of someone what everyone's talking about, because it's obviously not just like, the bone crusher is here. There's something else going on.
Oh, you don't know?
No, I'm not. I've been traveling for a while. I'm afraid I've missed much.
The big match, like the match of a century, she's got to be here because of it. Like, nothing's been announced. Nobody heard anything. But there's got to be something going on. She shows up the day before the Thunderfist arrives. There's got to be something happening here. There's going to be a surprise, like she's going to run out of the stands with a chair, or something's going to happen. There's definitely got to be something cooking here. So this is going to change bets. Like, something's happening. It's exciting.
Let me give you a little piece of pie too. For complimentary. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. You're a fan? Are you a fan? Do you? Who do you favor? Are you? I mean, you're from around here, right? So Basilisk is probably your favorite.
Is it wrong I want to affect the betting pool so I can bet on Ugna?
No bad ideas.
I mean, who's your god today?
No bad ideas.
Well, your god currently is the laughing dwarven trickster god.
Yeah.
That sounds like something he would approve of.
A god of luck and commerce.
The flip to that, of course, is Ugna has never beaten
Yeah, ever.
Basilisk.
No.
And
no,
also, this is not my pit, because this is all about like jumping and acrobatics, and I'm not.
But I don't
great
know
at
if
that.
Tromlin knows that.
Yeah.
That's true. I don't.
Yeah.
All I know is you're my friend, and
Yep.
like, I believe in you.
Oh no!
I'm like,
You idiot!
Don't bet on me. Not at the Erie. Come on, are you an idiot?
You'll quickly glean though. Like you rolled quite well to gather information here. Actually, why don't let's roll the flip side of this. Roll me an insight.
Okay, +7.
To figure the odds.
9. I rolled a 9.
Oh, good roll.
Yeah, you don't know. I actually have you beat. I only rolled a 7, but I've got enough of a bonus to beat that. So, so on their persuasion, so you're not. You're sort of trying to like influence like the Ugna. Like, give me some. What are you sort of trying to push for here?
I was thinking I was going to start trying to like favor the Basilisk.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, who can beat Ugna?
Well, that'll start a general debate. So, this couple of people who are here is like, but Thunderfist is undefeated. Thunderfist is undefeated. Ugna couldn't beat Thunderfist.
Out of character, I hate wrestling discourse in general, and now it's in the goddamn game.
It's sports talk radio.
Tromlin actually might get a little angry at the idea that, what the fuck you mean someone can beat Ugna? What the fuck?
Probably even wouldn't
he'll try to keep it under control, but that actually
someone's getting mad online.
Basically, he's like, that's my best friend, but he's not going to say
those
that.
trolls. We need those trolls to come back.
Yep.
They wouldn't use the name Ugna also. They would only
Bone Crusher.
Bone Crusher.
say the Bone Crusher.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
the
right.
Bone Crusher lost to Thunderfist. So, and the Bone Crusher's never beaten Basilisk. So what's going to happen? Like, whose side is she going to take? That's the thing. She's going to come in and like, what are they trying to set up here? Is this going to be like an upset that she's going to take Basilisk's side because it's a local crowd, and then they're going to have the Thunderfist is going to go down? This is
Tromlin is immediately thinking of all the ways he can try to poison both of these people.
Literally poison them, yeah.
people think you start to get the impression that these people think that Ugna is here to help cheat. Like this is an underhanded sneak trick is going to happen.
Gotcha. Actually, that's important to know so I can tell Ugna later.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I will thank them. I'm going to take a quick break to make sure all of the party members, including Timothy, and my grandmother in the bucket, get their dinners. I'll go kind of down the line. It's like, Glorpa, you get to actually eat my food for once.
Oh, it's like better mud.
I'll take that as a compliment. I will give Fenton a double helping of stew.
I swallow like the entire thing, including the bowl, like a snake with an egg.
I figured as much.
Yeah.
I will get to Ugna. Like, we need to talk quickly.
Oh, okay. Sorry, all. I'll be back later. Like sneak off behind the carts.
I'll put the back in 10 sign up and go down. Ugna,
BRB bathroom break.
Yep.
Everyone here thinks you're here to help throw a fight.
What? There's a fight going on?
Yeah, apparently it's a big deal. The local favorite versus Thunder somebody.
Thunderfist? Thunderfist's here?
He's gonna be here tomorrow. Apparently they have
Oh
a
my-
fight. So everyone here. thinks you're here
Thunderfist
to
versus
help.
Basilisk. That's a big fight. That's like the fight of the century. Oh my! I
Yeah,
want to go
that's
see
what we're
that.
saying.
We got. Can we
everyone-
stay? Can we go see the fight? I want to go see the fight.
Hey, shh. Everyone here who sees you thinks you're here to help one of them cheat against the other.
I wouldn't cheat. I'm
I know
not
that.
even invited to the fight. I didn't even know what was going
I-
on.
I know that, and you know that, but we also know there's a good chance either you're going to get pulled into this,
No,
or
you're probably right.
or someone here, because this is Trauma's thing, is assuming the worst. Someone's going to worry you're going to offset the fight and try to take you out. As we all know, fight fans are fucking nuts.
I'm gonna wear my kneecap guards then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, yeah. I'll put those on. Maybe I should go talk to Basilisk.
Maybe we should all go over there with you later, so you're not going alone.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
probably a good
she
idea.
would definitely know more about what's going on. This is her ring,
well-
after all. Like, she's the champ here.
It is her ring.
No one could beat Basilisk on the ropes. I mean, like, Thunderfist is gonna
could.
have his work cut out for him because, like, it's not his forte either. This is a real
Probably
hard
starts
ring. This
getting all
one.
pouty, and you're like, you could beat both of them. Shut up.
I mean, I've never beaten Basilisk.
I
Yeah,
love that you've gone
yeah.
like full fight nerd on it though.
Haven't beaten them yet, but you will. But still, you need to know this is going on.
I mean, maybe down in the mud hole, because then she couldn't jump around and do her fancy tricks and everything, and also I wouldn't have to worry about like swinging on the ropes, which I'm not great at. Like, they don't really hold me as well as they do her, and she's so fast. She's so fast, Tromlin.
But is she?
She's like a tiefling, right, Lane?
She is, yes, she's what is often colloquially referred to as an imp. In other words, like a halfling tiefling, a halfling-sized tiefling. She is
Trauma
very
immediately
small.
Trying to think of what ways could I do to fuck up that fight to make this person lose.
I
Trauma's
have
not a
a
good
character
person.
question, but what kind of like anti-magic cheating measures are there? Like, do fighters get like wanded for magic before they go out?
Depends on the
Isn't
ring.
something that you've been
Yeah.
a big
They'll have to
been
pee in a
involved
magic
with?
cup.
You're not sure.
Make sure they're not using performance-enhancing drugs.
Yeah.
Performance
enhancing potions.
and passing spells. Yeah.
Buffs, yeah. Interesting.
There
I'll
are
probably take this
actually,
time to make the Perny note that just to let everyone know, red-eyed raven on the cliff, daggers
God
at our
damn
back,
it.
foes abound. Hope you're all
Cool.
having as lovely an evening as I am. And I think Perny's
Okay.
actually just like sitting on the cliffs looking at the sea with the bucket next to him, occasionally glancing up at where he last saw the
Tromlin,
Mhm.
didn't we catch that raven? And like its soul? Is it a gem that the wizard has?
It could also be another one. Like, I mean, it's the Raven Queen.
That seems likely.
Like, I
Oh!
somehow doubt the Raven Queen has just one.
That bad guy lives here. That bad guy lives here.
Which one?
Uh, what's his name? Eophus.
Edric.
Edric.
Edric the merchant that you thought might have been involved in the murder of Otto lives here, but also Eliphas Darkmoor, the leader of the Raven cult,
I think it was Elephant.
the one whose red-eyed raven familiar you captured, also likely lives here.
Oh,
Although
Great.
Gandalf wasn't able to scry on him, so he doesn't know for sure. But he does
Great.
lead the Raven cult, and this is Ravenfall.
Seems
Great,
likely.
great.
And as long as the soul gem holds, it's supposed to. He's not
Keep
supposed to be able to
Oh.
resummon a new familiar, right?
No, well, actually, make me an Arcana check, and I'll give you more details.
Yeah.
Although I will, while you're doing that, I think we're gonna do the break shortly, but let's do the second poll just before the break, so I have it loaded up and ready. So
I'm gonna-
just gonna ask
Well,
the players
in
to
the
step
chat,
out of the
right?
chat, and we will begin the second poll.
What was the first poll? Am I forgetting?
Oh,
this
you'll find
already?
out shortly.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Great.
you know,
I
Oh,
haven't
no.
finished it yet.
I'm sorry, everyone. My apologies.
No, don't worry. I had it very much in mind. The second poll has begun, so I'll remind the audience, as always, you can vote as many times as you like if you want to put bits or channel points into it, or there's an automatic free vote for everybody, so you can always vote for whichever of these you think would be the best thing to happen in the coming part of the game. For whatever version of best you wish to interpret. As usual, 10 minutes for the poll. Okay.
I'm gonna use inspiration on that Arcana check because I don't like what I got.
Great. Alina, mark another inspiration.
So that makes it 21 on the reroll.
Okay, so yeah, as you understand it, because the familiar was captured, and that a familiar is created with a piece of the soul of the packed warlock who created it. Now that time has passed, what Dangalf has in that gem is a piece of the warlock's soul. But that doesn't prevent the warlock from recasting the spell and putting a different piece of his soul into another familiar.
You can have 7
we can beat this guy just by Pokemoning all of his familiars.
Like you imagine, you're not sure what this would, like what kind of weird ass Harry Potter nonsense this would be if someone kept taking chunks of their soul over and over again. Mm-hmm. I mean, imagine that Dangalf could eventually collect the whole thing, and then he would be like, I caught them all.
You gotta catch them all.
Yeah.
You turn him into candy at the oh, sorry.
But yeah, so you don't know for sure, but you also know that even a low-level warlock that is a follower of the same path could be another Pact of the Chain warlock that has a familiar. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's the same guy.
Yeah.
Just and one of the things that a demonic or imp familiar can turn into is a raven. Yeah. It's a pretty common shtick. So, it's possible that it's the same guy, but if it's not him, then it's certainly likely that it's another warlock of the same group or order or whatever. So, kind of half dozen of one, 6 of the other.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep an eye out, and I'm gonna. I know that I always have it going, but I'm gonna do my special emphasis on the Devil Sight Eldritch Sight, just to see if I see any magic, especially amongst ravens. Because I might just take a shot at that thing. I mean,
worst case scenario, it's just a regular ass raven.
Yeah, you kind of lost track of that one in a hurry because there are just so many other ravens in the cliffs. You saw one with red eyes for a moment, so you know that's out there. But
yeah.
If
I see a glimmer of magic amongst the ravens, I'm gonna go straight to Witch Bolt, blow up some birds.
Make me a perception check, and I'll let you know if you still see one watching you guys, or if you see one out there.
I think I'm not gonna goose it. I'm at 1. Yeah, I'm not gonna goose it. So
what's your
6
total? No, you're not sure. I mean, there's lots of ravens out there, and you can't see if any of them. There's the sun's starting to go down, and you're kind of catching flashes of red everywhere, and you're not sure if any of these ravens are unusual ravens. You're not seeing magic glow off of them, so you're sort of going, okay, no. You see occasionally a magic a glow on a raven, and you're like, aha, and then you realize that it's a raven folk spellcaster just flying around just further away. So you were like, oh, that's not a tiny raven, that's a great big raven
ravens
folk
are near.
dude.
That raven is far away.
These ones are near. The ones in the field are far away. So, Father Ted reference, because we're very timely on this show with our Fraggle Rock and
Hell yeah.
Babar references.
Hey, Fraggle Rock is being rebooted, so that's fine.
True. I learned today that there is an emo band called of all puppets called Fragile Rock, and I quite love that.
Good.
Must be Italian.
I think they're from Texas, actually.
I will also
Probably Austin.
give my grandfather a plate that has all of the squab hearts for grandmother. I have lightly cooked them with a little bit of spice, but they're mostly
dinner at
raw.
sunset with such a view. How lucky we are.
I'll put a little candle up so they can have a candle
Aw.
at dinner.
Ah,
So
she'll
romantic.
eat that too.
As you
Whatever
take the
makes you
lid
happy.
off of the urn and tip the partly raw bird hearts into it, and there's like a horrifying sound of otherworldly gnashing.
That's
Very
what
romantic.
I'm a big fan. Yeah.
Yep. You throw the candle in for good measure. A little
Tasty
fire
fire.
never hurts.
Yeah, tasty fire.
Indeed. So, let's see here. We're nearing break time. We are down to a little less than 5 minutes on the poll. I'll remind everyone, we currently have a clear leader, but things can change. We'll see how that counts down. In the meantime, I'm trying to remember what was just being done. Yeah, so as you're hanging out here, Fetid, you watch one of these groups of weaselly ratkin actually come over towards a smaller group of the emo-looking goblins and gnomes, and you can tell by the way that they're walking over there that they're kind of strutting, like they're looking to cause some trouble.
Are they gonna start?
Gotta snap.
They all have they have several of them have little bowler hats.
Oh God.
Oh,
I hate them already.
The little
Yep.
Peaky Blinders.
A couple of them have
already
like weird
taken
makeup
aside,
around one
and it
eye,
is not them.
Ah.
and they push the bowler hats down. They look like I'm basically now imagining like a cross between the Droogs and the Weasels from Wind in the Willows.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Yep.
Is there a
Hate 'em.
spell called Heat Codpiece that we can use on them? Just
Or also, I think there's some Disney weasels too that kind of have a bit of that. But they're pushing the hat up and going like, "Yeah, hey, yeah, this is our turf."
All right, I want
Shoves one of the
to.
goblins.
oh, that's
I wanna
the
use my-
who framed
Roger Rabbit.
Roger
Yeah,
Rabbit.
yeah.
Roger Rabbit's weasels. That's
Those
what I was
guys.
thinking of. They're very.
But
Those are
rats.
very similar to the Wind in the Willows. Like the
We
old
just need to make them
Cosgrove Hall Wind in the Willows,
Mhm.
just to get nice and obscure.
I want to use my swarm to drive off the shitty dudes.
Immediately, like the one that's going forward and kind of shoving at one of the goblins, you can just immediately swarm.
Yep. Just covered in rats out of nowhere.
Excellent. I'm just double checking what mechanics you have attached to the so with the writhing tide can full on push them back 10 feet, but you also have the option of causing damage.
Yeah, I don't want to like start a melee. I just want to like break up this confrontation.
A swarm of vermin
Yeah.
shove the shover back 10 feet, and he stumbles in amongst his companions, looking surprised. What kind of magic is this? As the goblins and gnomes kind of look around, like startled, having no idea where this attack came from.
I want to use the swarm to. Let's see, what would be the funniest way to mess with these guys? Are they wearing cod pieces?
I mean, they're kind of like, I'm picturing them, because they're sort of ratkin animal folk, I'm picturing them all running around Disney style with no pants, just like they're all wearing like kind of grubby medieval raggy tunics.
All right, I'm gonna direct my swarm.
They're still
to,
quaggles. They're not like off.
I want to tell my swarm to steal all of their hats and just run off. Just
stealing hats and
You need more hats.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So as soon as like the leader has like the nicest bowler hat with like it's really been folded to have that like forward angle, so that he can like he has that body curvature. So the top half of his weasel body is like leaning forward, leading with the chest with the hat pulled down. Yeah.
Crypto bro.
Yeah, and then so
Oh,
one of your
fuck him
rats
up.
just like runs up, grabs the hat, and bolts. And he's like, "Ah, my hat!" and immediately turns and tears off after this rat. And some of his friends are like looking at the goblins like they're to blame, but others are kind of laughing because it's funny. And then other vermin grab their hats, like a pigeon, whatever.
It was his NFT,
and runs
his
off.
nice fine top hat.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and he's pissed off.
These are much better for the environment.
He's like, don't you know how much I invested in those?
That cost me
hats.
$100.
So quickly they stop laughing and start running after these vermin that are taking their hats, and they kind of scatter off into the crowd.
All right.
And you're left behind with these kind of grateful-looking but shocked and surprised goblins and gnomes,
Yeah, I want to
all with their black hair over one eye.
Mm-hmm. Emo gnomes. I want to kind of sidle up to one of them and be like, "What's going on here? What's the beef between you guys?"
Oh, you must not be from around here.
I'm from Mud Hollow. I don't get out here much.
Oh, Mud Hollow. We've heard Mud Hollow has the protector of the trash heap looking out for their people. We've got these weasels who come in. They've just formed a big tribe down in the sewers, and they're just claiming more and more territory, pushing the rest of us out. He turns to his friend. She's like just the filthiest halfling. She may be a rival for your friend Booger.
Nice.
Oh, good.
She's just Briz. Basically, imagine like a halfling version of Helena Bonham Carter, but like
That's exactly where my brain went. Yeah.
Yeah, but like after she's been sleeping in a ditch for a year.
Which would literally be Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah.
He turns to her and he says, "Isn't that right, Mary?" And she turns back and says, "Yeah, Trit here used to be the leader of our group, but we can't, if they know who's a leader, they'll target them. So we've been just trying to keep quiet and keep to ourselves, but we're running out of safe places to go in the sewers where we don't run into trouble."
Okay, well, I don't like the sound of that. Where do you guys usually hang out?
I mean, the market a lot of the time, but they're always here too. They usually grab the best stuff before we can. My name, by the way, and he holds out his grubby little paw. This goblin with his big flappy, he's got the big flappy ears and then the black shock of hair right down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like greasy, so it almost makes that like central
Devil lock.
like
Got
misfits.
like a Misfits thing going.
Yeah,
on.
he's got a Misfits thing.
Good.
And he says, "My name is Trit, by the way. Trit Resnar.
I was gonna
Of
say.
course,
I was
of course.
Going, of course.
And this is my girlfriend Mary Moonson."
Oh God.
Mary Lynn.
Actually, no. I am going to request that we change that name because Marilyn Manson is a huge piece of shit in real life.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just picking names. I'll give her a different one. She can be Brenda Yori.
Perfect.
Good.
Much
I was
better.
thinking Shirley Manson, I guess.
Shirley Manson. Well,
I have a list. Of emo quaggles, so it's all good.
As you do.
I got to prepare for these games, guys.
Okay.
Well, I should say that I forgot to mention the chat. The chat is safe. The poll is over just for you guys.
Good.
Just so you all know.
I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons an awfully long time. Random emo quaggle list is totally new to me.
Mm-hmm.
We're innovating.
Yeah.
Glad we could expose
I do my best. So while this is going on, Glorpa, you quite enjoyed this stew, this bowl of mixed foods that Tromlin has created, and it strikes you that this is very like your alchemy. That what he's done, because of course when you eat things in the swamp, you're generally just you pick the thing. Like this moss is edible, and then you eat moss, or these worms are edible, and then you eat worms. This idea of combining ingredients like you're making potions.
It was like intentional.
This is a whole new thing.
Yeah.
So you recall you actually have some interesting new ingredients to play with because you have a vial of the dragon's blood, which they gave you to potentially play around alchemically with. So now that Tromlin has kind of done the 10 minutes, we'll be back, and you've got access to like these. There's pots and fires and
this is a poll
cauldrons.
result. I can tell.
And Sir Godfrey has this vast array of things for sale, which includes lots of interesting herbs and stuff. And experimenting with potion making is absolutely one of your hobbies.
It sounds really obvious to everyone else, but I, as just a player and not Glorpo, also have no idea what Dragon's Blood would do.
I don't know either,
magic
but
shit.
probably nothing good.
But
Or something awesome.
So your alchemy feat allows you to attempt to concoct new potions.
Mm-hmm.
So you can play around and see what this dragon's blood will do.
Okay.
This is how we lose Glorba.
I'm going to say this will probably be horrible, but it's also going to be amazing, and I really hope that you do it.
Why don't you make me a roll on your... So for alchemy here, I will... This basically is alchemy tools use. So this will be... I'm just trying to decide. I think your wisdom is the most appropriate. So you can make me a d20 roll, and then you're going to add your wisdom plus your proficiency bonus, which is a total of +8.
Oh, okay. Thank you for just knowing that. No, that's good.
I have your character sheets open for this reason.
Oh, good deal.
So
16 total.
That's pretty good. So yeah,
it's about as good as we're gonna go for.
You pick a cauldron that just has some water in it that Tromlin was keeping hot for various purposes, and you're like, water, the perfect base for a potion. And you add your dragon's blood and some herbs and some other things that you just kind of like make off with from Sir Godfrey's stock.
Throw it in.
Oh yeah, always.
Yeah, some stuff that you found behind your ear.
First.
Oh good, yeah.
Because I'm like gonna get experimental about food now.
Yeah, you taste it occasionally.
I like that dragon's blood.
Sir Godfrey doesn't care. Sir Godfrey's going, I have Newt, take it, please. Have here. This is fantastic. This whole thing is wonderful.
Yeah, when you're done with this, you've managed to create an interesting looking bright blue potion of uncertain quality, and you're interested to potentially try it out. I will reveal only that the effects of this potion were chosen by the poll in the chat, and in fact we are allowing because the thing that started the hype train was the chatters wanting very badly to end up with a tie between two of the options.
Oh wow!
And we allowed them to do that if they were able to get you over an inspiration, which they did.
You're right. This is going to be good.
So.
I don't know what to do with the potion. I know Glorpa does, but I don't. Do you throw it? Do you like...
Well, what you might want to try and do is try and figure out to some degree what it does.
How do you do
before you do it? So you have the ability to taste a potion and glean a little bit of information, but also you've seen Copernicus use his identify spells on magic items, so you might be able to use that.
Dip a really gross long fingernail. I always have at least one of them into it. And
good.
Kind of like it.
A coke nail.
Hell yeah.
Just know what it is, but
so you immediately
get a nail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's your scratch nail. It's for digging stuff out of your ears.
Yeah.
Which are often good potion ingredients.
Extra dingleberry scratcher.
Yep.
Cool.
So just a sec here. I'm just pulling up my notes to remind myself. So you are quite certain, first of all, that the schools of magic that this potion is going to affect are going to involve enchantment. So this is a potion like your simple love potion. This is a potion that affects others. But you also realize that its effect is going to be an area. So it is probably going to be the sort of potion where you want to take the vial and throw it and smash it somewhere so that it creates a cloud of effect.
Oh.
You also can glean that the targets of this effect are likely to be broad. You think this is going to affect any sort of sentient creature in the area, but you also think it's going to affect plants.
Oh. Right. Are those Weasley guys still hanging around? What are they up to right now?
The group you saw Fetid chasing with his vermin have vacated the area for the moment.
Right.
They ran away. They scattered and ran after the various things running away with their hats.
I'm sure they'll be back.
Is there anybody around that seems like they just kind of suck?
You can take a little time to find someone who you feel sucks enough to test it out. And in fact, that's probably a good place for us to pause for a break. Since we are at about that time. Someone in the chat suggests you should throw it into the wrestling ring.
That's what I want to hold off, but I also kind of just want to try it.
Yeah.
I can make more of it, right?
I was going to say that you probably made... I'm going to make a roll here. You have made enough for 3 potions worth.
All right, sweet. Times 3. Excellent.
3 vials.
My poor pots.
Yep.
Yeah, that
very thoroughly clean.
There's a glowing blue residue in that pot now.
Oh, Trom's going to notice, I assume.
Yes, when you come back from your chat with Ugna, that's not going to be something you'll miss. So let's take our break. We're going to do a bathroom break here, everybody in the audience. This is our halfway point for those curious and new to the stream. We will pick up again in about 10 minutes and carry on with more steaming hot trash heroes.
See y'all.
Heroes.
Be back soon.